There was not much else to tell. That winter, 1949, Fay and she had found jobs. For almost 2 years she had, just drifted, doing some restaurant work in small places, and then she had met Dick. No, she didn't know where the other was. In New York, she guessed. Of course, he was so famous she would have found him at once if she had wanted. Fay had tried to get back to the ranch, and it just was not there anymore. It had burned to the ground. Nothing remained, just a charred heap of rubbish. It was so strange, so strange. She closed her eyes and opened her mouth, leaning back on the cushion, one felted foot on the floor. The wooden floor slanted. A little steel ball would have rolled into the kitchen. I knew all I wanted to know. I had no intention of torturing my darling. Somewhere beyond Bill's shack, an after-work radio had begun singing of folly and fate. And there she was with her ruined looks and her adult rope-veined narrow hands, and her goose-flesh white arms and her shallow ears, and her unkempt armpits. There she was, my Lolita, hopelessly worn at 17, with that baby, dreaming already in her of becoming a big shot and retiring around 2020 AD. And I looked and looked at her, and knew as clearly as I know I am to die, that I loved her more than anything I had ever seen or imagined on earth, or hoped for anywhere else. She was only the faint violet whiff and dead-leaf echo of the nymphette I had rolled myself upon with such cries in the past, an echo on the brink of a russet ravine, with a far wood under a white sky, and brown leaves choking the brook, and one last cricket in the crisp weeds. But thank God it was not that echo alone that I worshipped. What I used to pamper among the tangled vines of my heart, mon grand péché radieux, had dwindled to its essence. Sterile and selfish vice, all that I cancelled and cursed. You may jeer at me and threaten to clear the court, but until I am gagged and half-throttled, I will shout my poor truth. I insist the world know how much I loved my Lolita, this Lolita, pale and polluted and big with another's child, but still grey-eyed, still sooty-lashed, still auburn and almond, still Carmencita, still mine. Changeons de vie, ma Carmen. Allons vivre quelque part où nous ne serons jamais séparés. Ohio, the wilds of Massachusetts. No matter even if those eyes of hers would fade to myopic fish, and her nipples swell and crack, and her lovely young velvety delicate delta be tainted and torn, even then I would go mad with tenderness at the mere sight of your dear wan face, at the mere sound of your raucous young voice, my Lolita. Lolita, I said. This may be neither here nor there, but I have to say it. Life is very short. From here to that old car you know so well is a stretch of 20-25 paces. It is a very short walk. Make those 25 steps, now, right now. Just come as you are, and we shall live happily ever after. Carmen, voulez-vous venir avec moi? You mean, she said, opening her eyes and raising herself slightly, the snake that may strike. You mean you will give us, that money only if I go with you to a motel? Is that what you mean? No, I said. You got it all wrong. I want you to leave your incidental dick and this awful hole and come to live with me and die with me and everything with me. Words to that effect. You're crazy, she said, her features working. Think it over, Lolita. There are no strings attached, except perhaps, well, no matter. A reprieve, I wanted to say, but did not. Anyway, if you refuse, you will still get your trousseau. No kidding, asked Dolly. I handed her an envelope with $400 in cash and a check for $3,600 more.